Well, it's first week of October.
And oh, how the weather has changed.
Yes. So one good thing is you won't have to hear us complain about how hot it is anymore. Very winter-like cold snap, very unusual for the first week of October, but it is delightful. The weather's gorgeous, and we're happy to be back.
We're excited this week. We have a meeting with a potential geometra.
Yeah, and a geometra is somebody that actually can help with all the renovation, filing the paperwork with the commune, getting the permits and all that stuff. So it's an important role, and hopefully this will kickstart the actual renovation of the property and getting our plans together, submitting them, and starting work. For several months now, we've been going back and forth from our rental house that we've had for the last 3 years up in the north of Italy and here. And it's about a 5-hour drive on average to get back and forth. And so it's been tough. And every time we come here, because we can't stay in the house, we actually are staying in an agriturismo.
Yes, a very nice one.
A very nice one. And it's been fantastic. And it's only 5 minutes from the house. So it's right down the street.
Perfect.
So it's very convenient. But it gets expensive after a while. And so we're always torn. We want to be here all the time, but every time we're here, it's like going on vacation and staying in a hotel essentially while we do the work that we're doing here. So we try to be very calculated about it and very efficient with our time. We say we come down when we know we have something planned that we're going to accomplish, we do it, and then we leave. But the longer term goal is to be here permanently. But it can't be in the house because it's going to take a long time to renovate the house and make it habitable.
You can't live in the house.
No, we've thought about it. We've tried to figure out how could we live in the house while we renovate it.
We toyed around with that idea.
Yeah, and then reality just hit and we're like,
No.
That's just not a good idea. No. It's not going to happen. So we do have another idea we thought we'd share with you, and it is that we actually get a mobile home, very small home on wheels that we can bring down and park on the lower part of the land and live in that while the restorations are being done. Yeah, while the renovations of the house are being done over the next who knows how long.
And what would be great is then we would actually be on property and we could work every day without having to travel back and forth. And
we own the property. It's rent-free, so we could establish our residency here in the town that we're eventually going to be in and living in this house. But we, as Tammy said, we could be here every day to do what we want to do, and it doesn't cost us an arm and a leg every time we do that. Anyway, so that's our plans. Hopefully that'll come to fruition. We'll meet with the geometra this week, and hopefully that'll kickstart that process as well. This trip is also a little bit more of the same, I guess. Another bulky pickup.
We're going to focus on the cantina because they're full, so we're going to work on getting a lot of items out of the cantina. So we have 2 pieces left in the Casetta. We have some leftover kind of
shelving units. The cabinets that all those documents were in. So this trip, hopefully the Casetta will actually be completely empty.
Completely empty.
Like nothing in it.
Nothing except geckos.
Yeah, the geckos, we'll deal with them later.
The other thing I want to focus on this week also is books. We have a friend that is trying to build a library for one of the schools up north, and we have 8 boxes of books here in the house, and as well as another collection that we've kind of consolidated upstairs. So I'm going to go through those and see if there's anything that we can contribute to the library.
All right, we should get going.
We should. The sun's starting to hit me right in the eye, too.
It is.
Yeah.
Okay. We are still in awe at just how different this area feels now that we've had all the cane and other vegetation removed. And I find myself wandering down here at least twice a day just to take it all in. And I'm always struck by just how big it is. This was something neither of us ever anticipated, and we're not exactly sure what to do with this area now that we have it. Maybe it would be a good location for a vegetable garden, or we could plant more olive or fruit trees here. Although, I do worry that this area could remain very wet at certain times of the year, and its positioning doesn't afford it much morning sun. As a matter of fact, because of the steep hill on the south side of the creek, it's likely this area will get no direct sunlight in the winter months. So, maybe we just seed the entire area with native grasses and wildflowers. At this point, any and all suggestions are welcome. Another small but welcome discovery made by the excavator is this collection of stones that were unearthed, and we ask that they be put aside to use in future projects. Now, these are the same type of stone used to construct both the villa and the casetta. And because we intend to leave the exterior walls of the casetta exposed, these might come in handy to make small repairs. Or we could use them to repair any of the many collapsing stone walls I've uncovered throughout the property. The presence of the cane didn't just make this area inaccessible to people, but likely to a lot of wildlife as well. We're still learning what animals frequent this area, and it seems every morning we discover fresh tracks left overnight in the dirt. Out of curiosity, we placed a wildlife camera by the lower road, and so far we've seen deer, a fox, and even wolves. Yes, I said wolves. And as we expected, the cane is already beginning to make a heroic comeback in a few areas. So, we know we'll need to get the excavator back out for another round of digging up roots. It feels like such a long time since I've been able to get out into the olive grove and do some trimming. This really is one of my all-time favorite things to do. And now that the temperature is cooler, it's even more enjoyable. And it's a good thing I like this work because it's something that will likely need to be done several times a year. While I'm living my best life in the olive grove, Tammy is removing more trash from the villa. Now, I haven't asked her, but I imagine she must enjoy this just as much as I enjoy trimming the grass. I mean, otherwise, why else would she be doing it? It is hard to tell, but I think under that mask, she's probably smiling ear to ear from the sheer joy of this fulfilling work.
So what is our goal for today?
Our goal today is
Yeah.
to evaluate and consolidate our books and our artwork.
All right. Yeah, I know. We've got so many books in the house, and currently they're in a couple of different rooms. And while we don't like touching things multiple times or moving things back and forth, we do feel we need to get them all in one spot, which I think today is going to be this room so that we can evaluate them all, figure out what they are,
Yes.
and then just figure out how to organize them. But I think before we do that, we're going to try to get a few more things out of the house that are in our way in this room and another bedroom here on this floor. So we'll do that first, try to do a little bit of a cleanup, and then we'll start evaluating our books and the artwork.
Perfect.
Go from there.
Sounds like a good plan.
I agree. Okay, let's move this table first, or?
Yep, over here.
Sure, just get it out of the way for now.
Yeah. Oh, it's a dictionary of Italian to Latin, 1961.
This book is 1961 too, just by chance.
1922, Il Peccato.
This is a book of geometry, a school textbook. Mm-hmm. The year, well, first of all, it's Mario Tiezzi's because he's got his stamp in it. And it is from, it was printed 1894 in,
wow.
In Bologna. The Club of Suicide. Every page is an emotion.
Club. See, these are the Touring Club of Italiano, and these are important because often there are maps, depending on the date, there are maps pre-war. Mm-hmm. And so they become valuable. To also look for first editions. This is a third edition, 1912.
Looks like I have a bunch of graphic novels here, like comic book style, called Diabolic.
A lot of these you just very quickly say, I'm going to give this to the library, but then you see it's like 1928 or something.
I know. Neuroses and Development of Personality.
Oh, look at this old book. This is the Touring Club of Italy.
I might have a stack of Walt Disney books for the school.
We'll need to Google it too, because I think some of those, especially if you have a whole series, could be worth some money.
This one was printed in Firenze. Oh, 1922. Wolfgang Goethe, Elective Affinities, translated by Massimo Mila.
Yeah.
Look at that. That's beautiful. 1930.
Wow.
Oh, there's some great images in here.
Is that a first edition? These are in bad shape, but I think these would be important to a library.
The Pirates of Malaysia. Malaysia. Why didn't you tell me this was so interesting, that all the stuff you were finding was so cool?
I believe I did. I think you went, I'm going to go mow the yard.
Doesn't sound like me at all. So this is our predicament. This is something Tammy knows much better than I do. Going through this stuff like this is new to me, but she's been doing it for months now. But you think, we'll just go through and sort all these books. We say, we'll just make a pile of the interesting stuff, the cool stuff. Everything's going in this pile.
Yes.
Because it's all so fascinating and
there are a few
requires
things.
More research, right?
It requires research. There are a few things. The age of the book. We have some first editions in here. There are a wide variety of books. There are technical books, medical books, comedies, novels. There are maps pre-war, post-war.
Graphic novels, comics.
I mean, it's just everything. It's very difficult to decide how do you quickly sort through hundreds of books and make sense of them.
So I understand now your pain.
Thank you.
The reality is, even if these are interesting, do we want them sitting on a shelf in our own home? And I get some of them have little to no value to anyone. They're just not that interesting, not that old, or maybe the information in them is so dated it's no longer relevant. But regardless, I don't want to put them in the trash. Somebody has got to want these and give them another life.
Library, something. So we're going to have to do some research.
We could sit here for a month going through this stuff and still not be 100% sure what to do with them.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to need help with this. But it is fun to go through, and it is fascinating
to
do it. I'm just, I guess the thing I struggle with is, at the end of this, will we have made any what will we have accomplished? Other than going,
nothing.
They're all cool. They're all really cool. So so just understand that this has been no easy task going through this. At the same time, I'm having fun until I remember I'm supposed to be accomplishing something. I'm like, this is really neat.
Look at this one. It's going to take a year.
Yeah, you can't do that with every book, but I feel like you kind of have to. Anyway, just thought we'd share that with you.
Yep.
Okay. So what next?
Before Tammy has time to answer, I swiftly make my escape. I notice that one of the cantinas no longer wants to lock securely. Over time, as the structure has undoubtedly shifted and the doors have become misaligned, it no longer latches securely. So for now, I'm simply going to make a small adjustment. It's not a permanent solution, but it will suffice. With me out of the way, Tammy has come up with a great plan for how she wants to organize the books. We were definitely overthinking it, so for now, she'll just identify the oldest, the most valuable, or most interesting books and get them packed into totes for safekeeping. We can decide what to do with them later. Everything else, we'll donate or give away.
The oldest ones are in the best shape. It's the ones from like the 30s and stuff. Okay, and the box empty.
Some
Good shape?
Yeah.
Okay.
43 of I Piede di Venere. Today we are preparing for our third bulky trash pickup. And we're going to start this morning here in the Casetta.
Yes.
We only have a couple things left in here. And then once those are out, this is empty.
Completely
Finito.
empty.
Then we can move on either later today or tomorrow we'll probably start on the cantinas again. Yeah. And I think both for the Casetta, but especially for the cantinas, we're going to need some extra protective gear.
Yes.
Goggles
and we do have
and
new gear, by the way.
Yeah, our new
Full
coveralls.
Gear. Yes.
Pretty nice, I think.
Pretty nice.
Yeah. I think they look pretty good. They're very comfortable.
They're very comfortable.
A lot of room. So, yeah, anyway, we're up in our game a little bit on the protective gear just because it is nasty. You don't want to be breathing in some of the stuff, especially the Casetta and the cantinas. They're worse than the houses.
Yeah, we're really now getting into the really dirty
work. We learned that last time we were here, pulling out some of those old mattresses out of that one cantina, and they were just falling apart. So, anyway, just a little more protective gear to make sure we don't breathe anything or get anything on us we don't want to.
Yes. All right, let's put our new gear to work.
All right, let's get going.
Okay.
Tilt it down this way, leave it standing on there, tilt it down. Got it, I got it. I've got it.
All right, all yours.
I was holding my breath, and now I feel like it's in squeeze.
Exactly. Well done. Okay. Getting there. All right.
And there's some at the back.
Yeah. I think we come down with this one, we slide it off, because then what we'll do is we'll tip it back that way and slide it down off the
Good
edge.
idea.
You know what I mean?
Yep, good idea.
Yeah. I have to run the extension cord down here and have to run here. Here. Okay, got it. Perfect. Huh? Oh, sorry. Okay, that's fine.
Daisies blooming, sundress swaying in the breeze. I can't stop staring. You've put a spell on me, and I hope that you never decide to set me free. The way you're moving has got me moving my own feet. The greatest feeling that I could ever dare to dream is you forever moving next to me. Let's not waste time, or take this slow. We've got miles behind us, but miles to go. So let's just break this down to the simplest truth. You and I as one will always be better than two.
It's a nice sized room.
It is.
It turns out that the last item we removed from the Casetta will be going right back in, at least for now. Because it was wrapped in plastic printed with a moving company logo, we suspect this table was one of the pieces of furniture brought here only a few years ago, and we assumed it would be more modern. But now that we have it unwrapped, we can see that it is much older, and we're both really intrigued by some of the details and the fact that it's expandable. So, for now, this will be staying with us.
It's nice everywhere else. I don't know why
That could be a good island in the forno room, in the outdoor kitchen.
That's what I was thinking too. I think it would be really nice. You know, they're not supposed to be perfect.